Folks, I tried to tell you about Tyrese Haliburton. I tried to tell you about the Indiana Pacers on Thursday's show when the Indiana Pacers went up 2-1. What did I say? I said on Friday night the Indiana Pacers were going to throw a haymaker. They were up 7 going into the fourth quarter. I said on Thursday's show going into Friday's game the Oklahoma City Thunder were going to win a close game. I said the Oklahoma City Thunder then in game 5 of last night was going to blow out the Indiana Pacers, which they were on their way to doing. And then the Pacers do Pacers things. They get back within 2. And I'm not going to tell why. Was I a little nervous? Yes. But then SGA gets back to back steals. Lou Dort hits a big freak. Avon Wallace gets a big steal. The lead goes from 2 to 7, then it goes to 9 on an SGA jumper. Indiana goes from being down 15 to being only down 2 to once again being down 9. For all intents and purposes, that was the ballgame. But outside of the NBA Finals, something very interesting happened this weekend in the NBA, and that was the Orlando Magic, who, of course, sent 4 first-round picks, which, let's face it, those first-round picks that they're giving Memphis, they think are going to be towards the bottom of the first round, because when they have Franz Wagner, when they have Jalen Suggs, when they have Pablo Banchero healthy, to pair up with Desmond Bane, you assume they're going to be, a top 4, top 5 seed in the East next year. But I bring up Orlando because they make the move for Desmond Bane because, folks, they believe they can beat next year's Indiana Pacers. And the New York Knicks sounds like they may not be that interested in Kevin Durant the way we all thought. And it sounds like the Cleveland Cavaliers may not blow it up the way we all here in my hometown of Cleveland, Ohio, think they should. And the reason for that is not only because of Jason Tatum's injury in Boston, but the East does feel wide open. Why? Because everybody's watching these Indiana Pacers, and I'm sorry, I have said it since the first round. This is the luckiest playoff run I've ever seen. It is a Mickey Mouse playoff run. It is somewhat reminiscent of the Miami Heat team in 2023. Miami was an 8 seed. The difference of that Miami team was they did have Jimmy Butler. They did have Bam Adebayo, they do have Max Strus, and they did have Gabe Vincent, and they did have Caleb Martin playing out of their minds. This Indiana Pacer team, and by the way, that Miami team was just beating people down and winning comfortably. This Pacer team is winning mostly by lucky comebacks in the fourth quarter. I'll be honest, I've never seen a team with as much depth as the Indiana Pacers when your superstar player, which, by the way, for the record, when I go to do my re-upping of the top 10 NBA players, as you guys know, I always do a list of the top 10 players in the NBA players before the playoffs. Then I go back after the playoffs and I do a top 10 list of players in the NBA, which includes players that did not make the postseason. Originally last week, I said, Tyrese Haliburton, if he had a good finals, he could make a case to be in the top 10. No. And I'm sorry, if the Indiana Pacers do somehow, by the grace of God, miracle, come back and win this series in a game 7 in OKC, which again is not going to happen, but let's play for the sake of argument. Who is the MVP for the Indiana Pacers? Is it TJ McConnell? Is it Neesmith? Is it Pascal Siakam? I mean, I'll tell you, Tyrese Haliburton's like my fourth option right now. And his leg is hurt. Oh my God. Yeah, forget it. He played the rest of the game. He was just terrible last night because Tyrese Haliburton will be terrible. We'll have one terrible game. And then Thursday night, I'm telling you right now, he's going to bounce back. He's going to have a 30-point game. The Indiana Pacers are going to play hard and they're going to compete. But it is not going to be enough because Jalen Williams has arrived in these finals. A 40-point game last night. He's in rare company with the likes of Shaq, Kobe, MJ, LeBron, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry. I believe SGA also in game 1, right? Like he is in the pinnacle of these guys. But Shea Gilgeous-Alexander bounced back after having a zero assist game in game four. He was spectacular. Shed Ongram, even though he's skinny as a rail, is starting to make his tall presence, if you will, not necessarily physical, but its all presence felt inside. Isaiah Arvinstein is setting great screens. They're getting better production from Lou Dort off the bench. I said going into the finals, I did not like the move Mark Dagnall made of replacing Isaiah Arnstein with Kayvon Wallace for game one. They've gone back to that big lineup for game four. It's been more successful for OKC in these last two games. And I said going into these finals, the luck is going to run out on Cinderella. Now, going into the series, I predicted OKC to win last night. I thought game five would have been it. I thought the Thunder would have been up 3-0 after a close game three in Indiana, in which OKC would have pulled away. I would have then predicted Indiana to win in blowout fashion in game four, and then I would predict OKC to win in blowout fashion last night. Game one only changed my prediction by one game. I have predicted every other game in this series correct after game one because I said Oklahoma City was going to bounce back in game two. Then, after Indiana won in game one, I said I thought Indiana was going to play their best in game three and win that game. Oklahoma City then was going to win the remaining three games of the series. So, if the Thunder win tomorrow night, I'll all but nail this series. This is not that complicated. The Oklahoma City Thunder have won 80 yeah, 83. I had to do the quick math in my head. 83 games so far this season. They went 68 and 14 in the regular season. They have won 15 games in the postseason. They add 3 losses to Denver. They add a loss to Minnesota, so that's 4. Another 2 losses to Indiana, that's 6 losses plus 14. They have played 103 games this year. They are 83 and 20 in those games. Think about that. It is a historically great season. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is about to become the first guard since Michael Jordan to win NBA regular season MVP, the NBA Finals, and NBA Finals MVP, and lead the league in scoring in the same season. That is how much of a historic season OKC has. Now, again, I do want to slow the brakes. I reiterated on the OKC dynasty. We don't know what's going to happen with Kevin Durant. We don't know what's going to happen with Giannis Antetokounmpo. Yes, Oklahoma City has all those young picks, but we assume the Houston Rockets are going to get better. We assume the San Antonio Spurs are going to get better. We know the Mavericks are coming with Cooper Flag, Kyrie Irving, and Anthony Davis. Who knows what moves the Lakers are going to make, but they still have LeBron and Luka. Who knows what tweaks Minnesota is going to make? They have Anthony Edwards, who has made back-to-back Western Conference Finals. So I would slow the brakes on the OKC dynasty, but for this year, they've had the best team since day one. They've had the MVP of the season, who's putting up MVP numbers. He has not had a bad game in these finals. And the Indiana Pacers may have the greatest bench in the history of benches for somehow staying in that game last night. But folks, I'm telling you right here, right now, they are not a great basketball team. I made the most significant wager in terms of money wagered I've ever made in my life last night on the Oklahoma City Thunder minus 9.5. Now, again, was it close? Was I sweating that? Yes, but in the end, the Thunder showed their might. They're going to wrap this up on Thursday. We're going to talk about it next week. And the Indiana Pacers, I'm here to tell you, I will guarantee you right now, will not make the NBA Finals next year. This will be a team remembered forever because of their comebacks and because of their bench. That's it. And a team that everybody will look back in history and say, wait, Tyrese Haliburton at 4 points, and all of them from the free throw line, never made a field goal in Game 5 of the NBA Finals. It is statistically the worst. I believe he had 0 points, 3 fouls, 5 assists, 3 turnovers, never made a field goal. It is statistically the worst NBA Finals game in the history of the NBA Finals. And for you to be borderline and top 10 players of the NBA with this clutchness, for you to not even make the Olympic team last year, for you to be rated the most overrated player in the NBA, and then for you to throw that dud last night, yeah, I think the media and the critique from players is all right about you. If the Pacers have a chance in hell, they win game 6. They're not winning the game 7 in Oklahoma City. The Thunder will bore them out. They will shake in their boots. The Indiana Pacers will not be ready for this. And so I am here today on Tuesday, June 17th, 2025, to say congratulations to SGA for winning NBA Finals MVP. No, it's not going to be Jalen Williams. He was the most consistent player in this series, game in and game out, has been SGA. I'm here to congratulate Sam Presti, who, in my opinion, is the Howie Roseman of NBA general managers, just without a championship. He's about to get one with the stride moves he's made. Mark Daigneault, who, unlike Billy Donovan and unlike Scott Brooks, becomes the head coach to get the Oklahoma City Thunder over the hump. Rick Carlisle, great season, great story with the 2011 Mavs. No, this Indiana Pacer team is not as good as that 04 Piston team that knocked off the Lakers. And in my opinion, folks, the Indiana Pacers are not even the best basketball team in their state right now. That belongs to the WNBA team and one woman by the name of Caitlin Clark.
Like that clip from the Brands World podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Brands World podcast right here on YouTube.